Yeah, just real clear. You were wrong on that.
Yeah, but I'm partially right. I'm there.
You were
At least
He
I
was
guessed.
adjacent.
At
He was
least I guessed.
adjacent.
Did you guess?
Wow, they made the Asian chick like really yellow. Like it is like glow in the dark yellow in this picture.
Don't. Adeline, Ariel, Arabella, and Isla.
There's
if
like
you guys are
8.
listening to this podcast, first of all, thank you for listening to this podcast when you're old enough.
You're making daddy proud.
Okay?
If they're 18, I can almost guarantee you they're not going to be doing that.
Prove this guy wrong. If he's still alive, I'm just kidding.
I'm like, whoa! Could not tell.
No, please, no.
Yep.
It's painful. That's painful.
Yep.
Welcome to the most obdurate podcast in the world. This podcast.
We're clear. We are cutting that.
This podcast is a podcast of We're Alive Descendants. We're only doing We're Alive Descendants so far. If you haven't listened to the new episode, please go listen to that first and come back here and listen to this because this episode is full of spoilers. After you listen to that, come back here and listen to us and enjoy every bit of this episode talking about other things that's probably not related to We're Alive.
In fact, yeah. In fact, before you listen to Descendants, listen to Story of Survival and Gold Rush and Lockdown.
Scouts Honor.
Scouts Honor you
While
need
we're
to
on it,
listen
Scouts
to.
Honor.
But Scouts Honor is worth it, but it's not needed for this.
Well, that we know of.
That we know. Well, yeah, there should be because there should be a crossover. So yeah, go ahead and listen to Scouts Honor. Then come back and listen to this episode.
My name is AJ.
Wakka.
Jay,
Ace.
welcome. That was
This is,
really bad.
That was awkward.
We're gonna get that on the last episode.
Watch. It's gonna happen.
Well, to you to assume.
This is the We're Not Dead podcast. If you're listening to the podcast, hello, podcast people.
Hello.
If you are, if you're listening to podcasts, hello, podcast people. I don't. If you haven't been listening to We're Not Dead, we have new hosts. It's not Brittany anymore. It's not those guys that are awesome. We have new hosts of We're Not Dead, and we have a YouTube channel. So just go look for. Oh, come on,
You
guys.
could have told me you were gonna point it. Myth.
Yeah,
Myth.
got him.
It's Mike's.
Mike's. Yes, I helped pick it out. Gosh, Mike's Myths and Mayhem.
Mike Smith and Mayhem. Just look for Mike Smith and Mayhem, and you will find all of the stuff that we have done there. And you can see our faces, you can see our reactions, you can see what Jay looks like. He sounds like what he looks like.
Yeah, I'll take that.
Yeah, absolutely.
Gorgeous.
We're doing
Gorgeous.
we're doing chapter 16 episode or story 2. Train through the pain. What do we think, guys?
I liked it.
It's a quick
it was fun.
episode.
Yeah, it was.
It
quick.
is.
It was short.
Yeah.
But it was
This one was
nice.
so good.
It was interesting though. Yeah, I have some thoughts that I'll probably remember when we're talking about that part of
Yeah.
the episode.
Yeah, it gave me a different perspective on Oliver. Maybe he is not as bad as I assumed he would have been. I mean, I never thought he was going to be bad. I just thought he had a twist,
Ulterior motive?
Yeah,
Yeah.
If
but
you can see, Ace's physical face, he's probably making a face like I told you guys.
He's smirking though. We can see
Yeah,
that.
yeah,
yeah.
He's
Oh,
the
of
one.
course.
He's the one who said that Oliver's still in love or still really care about CJ.
Oh, we
Well,
know
I
that.
believe
that.
I knew that from
I
the
believe
get.
that.
yeah. But he's like he's the one that's pushing
I'm
it.
happy that that's been one of the things that we've never even had a conflict of thought with. We're just we've always, anytime it's come to that, it's been like, no, that was real. Like there's a lot of parts of Jeremy that Jeremy was fake. That was real.
Yeah. No, I like so. If you guys know me, I don't mind. Sorry, if it's an action movie or a show, I hate when everything gets sappy. Like Thunderbolts. Have you seen Thunderbolts?
Oh, dude, that was freaking hilarious.
It's hilarious.
I
but that-
laughed so hard. Honestly, since the original Avengers,
Yeah.
there have been a couple decent Marvel movies.
Yeah.
Thunderbolts, I thought, was back on par with what they were doing in the past, and I freaking loved it. I thought it was a lot better than I expected. I mean, Florence Poe is pretty awesome. So,
That's right.
So I like all the action. I like what they did with Sentry. He's actually kind of look like what Sentry looks like in comic books. What I don't like is that sappy last part. Like, I'm here. Don't worry, I'm here for you. I'm right here. And then they're all hugging together. Like, this is like that one moment in Guardians of the Galaxy when Rocket said, "Now we're all standing here, bunch of Jack." It's the whole thing. It's like, it's hilarious but the rest it's good. Anyway, this part I like the sappiness. I like that moment that we had with Oliver, that's soon to be passed to CJ if it gets passed to CJ.
I disagree.
I like that. Huh?
I didn't like it.
You did not like it?
No.
You didn't like that interaction?
So the beginning, yes.
Uh-huh.
After the phone call, no.
Oh no! I'm talking about during the leaving the message.
Oh, that was okay.
Yeah.
But the reason I say that is because after the phone call, I felt that it went way too far into the familiar of somebody who has been in that relationship for so long.
You're talking about Oliver and Vera. I'm talking about Oliver to CJ.
Oh, that. Okay. Yeah. That was okay.
We can go into that.
I thought you were talking about between Oliver and Vera.
Right.
Sorry.
Right.
I was gonna say, the specific between the Oliver leaving the message, like, that was one of my favorite parts.
Yeah, that was good.
I like it.
The last couple episodes, like, not because anything bad, but it's because it finally got to bring out more of Oliver's like personality, and it wasn't just the head of the family guy.
Yeah. Didn't she
dealing with?
Didn't she say 17 in that? Sorry, Ace. Sorry about that.
No, you're good. You're good.
Didn't she say 17 and a half years?
Maybe.
Right? She was like 17 and a half years and 45 seconds.
Yes.
Which gives us an age on her, by the way.
Yeah.
I don't think we ever had a definitive age on her. That puts her at about 18.
Yeah, well, we kind of did. We just didn't remember.
We assumed.
Because the timeline on the end of Story Survival to where they are right now, because they're about the same age as no, Nick is a little bit older. So you partially right.
Nick is the oldest of like the born children.
Yeah.
Wait, well, we assumed into the math,
born.
But this gives us an actual legitimate timeline.
Alex would have been the youngest.
No, I thought he would be the oldest.
No, because remember
No. So actually, I think he would have been older than Vera, but younger than Nick. Or actually, he would have been the oldest.
Yeah, I would have thought
Alex.
Yeah.
Well, wait. Hold on. Now I'm trying to run things through. So Nick would have barely been older than Alex.
Yeah,
Vera would have been the youngest.
Yeah, because Lizzie was pregnant.
Lizzie was pregnant during season late 2.
Yeah,
is when we started getting that confirmation, and the season it was in between season 3 and 4, if I remember correctly, when Gold Rush happened.
Yeah, Alex will not be the youngest, but he will be. Nick will be older than him.
Wait, who's Alex?
But it would have been
Muldoon's son. Muldoon, right?
Who's Muldoon?
Robbins.
Yes, Muldoon.
Robbins.
With Dot.
Huh? You know the soldiers that was that the
with Dot. Alex with Dot.
But he's talking about who
I know
the parents.
who he is. Who's his parents?
One of the soldiers that died in Gold Rush.
Okay.
It was.
Oh yeah. Because his dad
Rhonda.
went to the
bunker.
The bunker.
Atlas.
It was Puck,
sorry.
Robbins, Carl, and Muldoon.
Yes.
Yeah. And Puck.
Puck.
That was the first one I said.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Okay, I didn't hear you. Yeah. So, we're gonna talk about that later on.
We gotta start the episode.
Yeah, no. So
we have so much to get into for this week,
which is funny because this is like 24-minute podcast.
Right?
I know this was such a small episode,
short episode,
and I was like staring at it like once it did the first transition. I was like, already?
I know.
Yeah, exactly.
It felt like solo leveling, and I was getting mad. I was halfway through the episode, I was getting mad.
I did it at work while I was working, and in the break room they had a puzzle, and so like I started just throwing in a few pieces of the puzzle, and then it got to the end, and I'm like, did I just waste like 45 minutes doing that crap? And then I realized it was only 20 minutes. Oh, good. It was only like 5 minutes I was there. Woo! Okay. Like, did I just get wrapped up into this puzzle for way too long?
He's like,
That's funny. That's funny.
Yeah, am I going to get fired?
It's like one of those videos where those guys,
lose my job.
where those guys go take a nap during lunch break, and then they wake up. It's the middle of the night. I don't know if you.
Those are fun pranks to pull on people.
It's that nap where you just blink and it's pitch black outside.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that's hilarious.
Yep.
All right, so we started with the big muckraker growling and waiting for Will and Nick.
How long is it gonna just stand there?
Oh, it's totally waiting for us. It knows we're here. Not all the big ones are dumb.
If we go for the car and it smashes it like the other, game over.
All right. So one of us gets the car and the other deals with the muckraker.
So I'm driving now?
I mean, you can, right?
Not too well. They let me fix them, not really drive them, and it's stick shift.
So what now, Will? Do you want to deal with the infected?
What if the car doesn't start?
Okay, then we're wasting even more time. Head around the other side of the street. I'm gonna pull him away. You get to the garage when it's clear. With any luck, I'll hit the soft spots in the neck and take it down.
This is a continuation from the previous episode. Nick said that it's waiting for them, and not all big ones are dumb. I love that he said that. Not all big ones are dumb. I think we got a little used to that from the first gen, because that's pretty much.
Well,
the
Fredo
only
wasn't
ones.
dumb.
No. I'm talking about the
Behemoth?
We were more
Behemoths
acquainted.
were stereotypically. Though.
Yeah.
And it was like you're saying, it's a nice callback because up until this point, I mean, it was pretty much there was no exceptions that we'd really seen.
Besides
for smarter.
Besides Buffalo Bill, like Buffalo Bill kind of is smarter. Like he knows.
He was a little bit more on the intelligence side.
Yeah.
But like it was pretty much a done deal. Like, nah, they're just all kind of
right,
roamy and mindless.
Yeah.
And then they're just like, yeah, no.
Yep.
By the way.
And then Nick told Will to go around and that he would deal with the infection. This is one of our prediction on what's gonna happen in this next episode. My other one was Will was working on the Armada pistol while he was working on the car. And then the second prediction is he's going to deal, Nick is going to deal with them while Will deals with the Armada pistol. And then it turns out it was the car. So he went around.
Yeah, just so we're clear, you were wrong on that.
Yeah, but I'm partially right. I'm there.
He was adjacent. He was adjacent.
Did you guess? No, you didn't.
I said
thought so.
I said I think he only worked on the car.
Okay.
And that was accurate.
Okay.
Say, you kind of glazed over that part.
What do you want, a cookie?
Oh, we totally call each other out when we're wrong. Who else was wrong? Just saying.
He will be a distraction while he tries to start the car, and of course we get into the whole what is that word? Dang it. A trope, TV show trope. What's gonna happen with the car? Nick did the breathing again. Oh, I love this. Nick did the breathing again, like a callback from the arena. It's like just breathe, aim, and shoot. However, this time the neck is too thick, so it didn't penetrate. Will try to start the car. This is a trope. But it wouldn't start. You can hear Nick dealing with the muckraker in the background. You can hear shooting. Will seemed to be hitting himself while yelling, "Focus, Will! Focus!"
Yeah, I gotta give props to Will because I think he should be already over his little his
withdrawal.
Yeah, withdrawals, right? At this point, or do you think it's still heavy?
I think he's distracted.
Well, regardless, I just knowing Will or someone his personality, it would have been easy for him just to run away, and he stuck around. So I kind of give props to him for really trying hard to help Nick.
I almost feel like it would be harder for him to run away than most people. just because of like how he's been forced to be raised and stuff like that. He kind of has that dependence where like if Nick is gone, there's nothing that he can do by himself. Like in his mind, like he seems like the kind of person that needs to follow somebody in order to have the best outcomes and stuff like that. And
that makes sense.
And so like I feel like don't get me wrong, he wants to help Nick. Like I don't see a part of him that's like, well, if I can't help him, oh well, like no, he's gonna do everything he can because it's like that's my friend, I'm gonna help my friend.
Right.
But at the same time, like even if he was overwhelmed with just the fear and stuff like that, I don't see a world where he's like, oh well, I guess I'm just gonna run and try again next time.
So there are moments in We're Alive universe in every episodes and every season where we all know this, that Casey will play in our emotions and play with our overthinkingness and looking at details and things like that, right? We know this, we understand this, we all agree on this. Someone posted on Facebook that says that Will is the son of Skittles. Points. He's the first one that pointed the water tower when they got there, right? Skittle lived in the water tower.
I can see that.
He had the shaky thing, that Skittles had, but his is a different, kind of
shakiness.
Different kind of shakiness. And then the third is working on the car, because Skittles worked on the tires.
Yeah, because he did have that little.
Yep.
Little moment where he did that as well.
Yep.
You're
And
right,
he saved them. Wasn't it the behemoth that attacking them?
Yes.
Yeah, it was a behemoth.
It was two behemoths.
Yep. It was a behemoth, and then
knock
two
it up
behemoths.
that notch.
Yep. And then Nick, Will saving the day by working on the car. Yep. Yeah, and saving.
We had even said that pretty early on. That we thought that could be a thing. Long term, I don't think that's the case.
I think so.
But I definitely, I will never be upset if that was one of the things I was wrong on.
Right. No, I totally agree.
I would love that because that would just be such a cool thing. Nothing that's like, that I feel like would ruin the character or it wouldn't give really any negative thought from me. It would just be like oh, that's neat, cool. Yeah, kind of thing.
Well, because if he is, so timeline-wise, it wouldn't make sense that he would be Skittles' son, only because Will mentioned about his parents, being a engineer or something like that.
Yeah.
So it wouldn't make sense unless we for some reason, Casey's like, oh, he's adopted, and his dad is this guy who went crazy,
like the new parent.
Yep, and then he got adopted by two engineers. So if that was the case, then it wasn't like. Casey didn't really give us a bunch of hints that this could be Skittles' kid, like nothing like that.
No,
so if he is, it will be interesting. But like what Ace said, if he's not, then all right.
Maybe a distant
relative.
Yeah, his new nickname would be Starburst. Just saying.
Skittles, Starburst, nice.
Yeah, I just feel like Skittles is detached enough from the main cast to where it's like it really would just be an neat kind of situation.
It's funny because you said his new name is what?
Starburst.
Would you remember the drug that he's addicted to? Stardust.
Oh. Yeah, I knew that the whole time. I knew that. I remember that.
Part of the plan?
Part of the plan.
Exactly. Slid that right in there.
I knew that.
Yeah, baby.
You sneak like Gorath, bro. That was really good.
Not sure that's a compliment.
You sneak that in like Gorath, bro.
Why do I feel like I've been roasted?
Exactly. All right. Then Nick said to the infected, they couldn't take you down before. Is that right? Meanest thing for miles. This is your town, isn't it? Like mocking and telling on the big muckraker. What's going on? He decided to go around the corner, but found himself stuck and couldn't get over the fence. Nick yelled at Will for help. Will suggested hiding in the Suburban.
Oh no! Will! I'm trapped! Nick! I can't get over the fence!
Shit! Hide in the Suburban!
What? That won't help!
Just do it!
this is a huge callback to
yo,
Saul getting stuck in the
waiting for
hybrid.
That is right.
I was waiting for this the whole time because I was
Yes.
like, dude, the moment it happened, I was like, please tell me that he's about to get crushed in there and Will's gonna leave and come back.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
I had
And
so
he's
much
there.
hope for that, actually.
He's there with the liquor, and for some
That's
reason there's a
crazy.
dog. What?
That's crazy. I completely forgot about
Why is
that.
there a tiny puggle here?
That was me. I made that puddle. I'm sorry.
That
No,
scene was
not
when,
a puddle, puggle.
Oh, puggle. yeah.
If I remember correctly, that's what Lady was.
I think so.
That's-
Yeah,
Puggle.
yeah, a pug poodle. Yeah.
that scene was when they were at the water tower.
No.
Yes.
No.
It was when they were at the oil refinery. Sorry.
Yeah,
Oil
Oil Refinery
Refinery.
with Bert, Lizzie, and Saul. I re-listened to it, so
That's
so
hilarious.
I wanted to make sure
completely
that it
forgot
was the hybrid because I put in my notes it was the
Yes,
hybrid.
it
Like,
was.
was it the hybrid? Yeah, it was the hybrid.
Which it's kind of ironic because like if they would have gone in any other one of the vehicles, he probably wouldn't have made it out.
Yeah,
Because he either would have been too armored to where it didn't like break down on him, or like he might have ended up. It might have not broke down at all, and he might have just gotten stuck in there
yeah,
with the infected waiting him out.
right.
So like it would have been a lose-lose if he was actually in one of the armored Humvees.
Yeah, you know what's it's hilarious too because Nick got befriended Will who works on the cars, right? And Saul is their car guy in the tower.
He was the one in charge of motor
yeah,
pool.
he was in
That's
charge
right.
of motor pool. It's interesting.
You guys pull so
Admittedly, I'm-
much out of stuff. It's hilarious.
Well, admittedly, I'm actually disappointed that Nick's not more of an auto pool guy. Like I was really hoping that he would actually kind of take that because that was both of his parents
Yeah,
were mechanics.
yeah,
Mm.
it's true.
Like they were both really big into it.
Oh, yeah,
and
yeah, yeah,
instead he
yeah,
took
yeah.
after Bert.
Yeah, he definitely did take after Bert. I forgot. Was Lizzie
Not emotions though.
Was Lizzie a grease monkey?
Yeah, her dad.
She was because she
of her
learned
dad.
how to
Wow, I
weld and
completely
stuff like
forgot
that to try and have her original boyfriend to give her attention.
Oh yeah.
So she became a grease monkey.
Yep.
That's wild. Did not know that.
Yeah. That's what happens
I forgot
after
about
what?
that.
After what? Listening to Story Survivals. 20, 30, 40?
I gotta go back
Not
into it. I
enough.
gotta re-listen to it.
Talk about it. I've forgotten too much. I need to go re-listen to stuff.
Yeah,
Yeah.
for real.
Time for listen number 37.
Right. Now, Nick said while getting hit, "This will not be the end of me." Mucker, and then he said the F
F
word.
word. I was like, oh,
Instead of
nice play with words.
Mucker.
Nice play with words,
That was
Nick.
good. And he did it again early on, but
Right.
that little mucker he said. Nick was passing
I
out.
lost it.
He was passing out. You can hear in the music, in the sound. You can hear his heartbeat and the sound going down until you hear a release of gas and a splash of blood. It's Will with his Mata pistol. The back seat is, and then they get out. They got out of the back. I think that's how I picture it because the back seat was pushing on him.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
that's
they
right.
like pushed it off and then opened the door. I think.
Yeah, I think
was cool 'cause-
he opened it and pried him out.
Yeah. And if I'm not mistaken, you could hear like the the compressed
Yeah.
Yep,
air
exactly.
like right before, and that was so satisfying to actually
like-
like hear that moment because you just hear the little, and then like
Yep,
a thud,
yeah.
and that was it. And I was
Yeah.
like, that's actually perfect.
That
Like,
was nice.
Yeah. It actually made
There's
me hungry.
nothing
For
more
some
I need
reason,
to
I don't know
imagine
why
or
it made
immerse.
me hungry. The sound of the sound.
I don't know why that
I
would
don't
make you.
know. I don't know why it's like
But
that sounds. Because in my head, I'm thinking about squishing a fruit. You know, when you take a bite of a juicy fruit,
That
not
is
apple.
very.
You know what I mean? Like
odd.
pineapple, right? A whole
homie's
pineapple,
just
and you take
popping
a
a
bite of
freaking
it.
grape, and he's like, I'm hungry now.
Yeah, exactly. So it's like not like a pineapple or a mango. Like take a bite of it, and then you can hear that
That's an
sound.
odd one.
So it
That's
makes me
very odd.
salivate. Maybe I am infected. Who knows?
No doubt. No doubt.
I'll be the dumb ones. Okay, after the muckraker is dead, you can all of a sudden hear more infected coming. Nick assumed that the other infected were taking the territory from the swamp thing. That's what he said. Will decided to stay and try one thing because they're like, well, the car didn't start.
And he figured out it was the starter.
He assumed that it was the starter.
Well, he deducted that out of all his options of why it couldn't. I mean, it could have been just pure luck that it assumed, but he was deducting like, okay, what's wrong with it? It can't be this, and then it has to be the starter. It has to be the starter. Under the pressure.
Yeah, it was one of those. Yeah, it was one of those. He made an educated guess, and it really like there was only so many options. He's like, let me guess, it's the start.
Yeah.
Well.
Yeah. Nick told him you got one chance. Nick went inside the car and instructed to start the vehicle. The car is trying to turn over and then Will starts hitting. I assume he's hitting the engine. That's what he's hitting.
No,
What is he hitting?
He's hitting the starter.
Yeah, he's hitting the starter.
Oh, he's hitting
So
the
that's
starter.
actually a valid technique. If a starter's going bad, if you go underneath there and you can use a hammer or something like that, and you hit a certain spot on the starter, it can kind of help it jog and or jar into place. I've had to do it before on a car, but that's a valid. Maybe not so much on newer ones. I don't know. I haven't had to do it in a long time, but yeah, you would actually go underneath there. And
Because isn't the newer one doesn't have carburetor anymore?
That has nothing to do with the starter.
No. I'm talking about like the difference between the new one and the old ones. Because you mentioned like I don't know about the new ones.
Yeah.
Does the new one still has carburetor?
No.
Okay.
Oh.
It's fueling. Yeah.
Because
it's fuel injected now.
Yeah.
New or old is pretty irrelevant considering all of these vehicles are going to be like early 2000s.
Fair.
Well, he mentions that in the show.
This one is really old.
Yeah.
He mentions that. He was like, no, that one's too new. That one has a carburetor.
Yeah.
Or,
Something.
I don't remember.
No, because this one has a carburetor because they talked about that later on. That's when he's I'll read it. Sorry, where was I? It turned over, then died. Will sprayed some starter fluid in the carburetor.
Yeah, that's valid too.
That's what he did. Yep,
Been there, done that.
Yep. Don't you guys like usually like blow it, like put it in your mouth and then start blowing the starter fluid? Or I might have just seen that in what is that movie?
I'm not
Fast and
sticking
Furious?
starter fluid in my mouth.
What did I see that? The Fury Road.
Starter fluid comes in a
Fury Road.
spray can for a reason.
What is that movie? The Fury Road.
Oh,
With the tank?
Mad Max.
Mad Max,
Oh.
yeah.
Yeah,
But I think they're
dumb.
blowing like they're blowing
He said
fuel.
there?
They might
in
have
the
been
engine. Yeah,
blowing
it might have
gas
been-
into
yeah,
it.
yeah.
It's the same idea.
Yeah.
They're trying to blow the fumes out to get it a spray more
Right,
so.
right.
But yeah, I mean,
Like I think they're blowing directly in the
That's
engine.
funny.
but the starter fluid has a lot higher combustion, and that's why you would do that because it'll light
Ignite
the
it,
starter
yeah.
fluid, which will jumpstart the engine, and then it'll catch up to the fuel, which has a lower spark point or whatever.
Right.
So
There you go. We know who to call when our car breaks down. Just
tow truck.
I was gonna say just call 911. Oh my god. That's an inside joke. Now Nick was celebrating. I thought in the scene,
I think you know it.
Nick
Probably
was
forgot.
celebrating.
Okay.
I thought in this scene because Will was quiet. So when I listened to this, right, I was listening to this and I was doing some yard work the first time I listened to this, and in my yard, there's certain points where I lose the Wi-Fi, and coincidentally, I lost the connection and started buffering in this moment when when Nick asked Will, "Are you okay? Did you get bit?" And then silence. I'm like, "Oh crap!"
That would be worrisome. I would freak out.
I'm like,
I would
"Is
freak
he
out.
bit? Oh my gosh, he's bit!"
I would freak out like that. Oh my gosh.
No.
I know. Probably in shock, he got bitten and was turning. Nick was looking for the map of the rail line. Will left it in the garage. However, because of Will's brain, he remembered the route. Nick said, "Well, I guess you are not resting. Let's talk about this in a moment, okay? Let's talk about this." Will said, no, sorry. Nick said, "I guess you are resting on the train." Will responded, "Do you really think I'll be able to sleep on the train?"
I remember
Nick.
this.
And then Nick said, "I guess not." And
No,
this is what
probably
Will
not. He said probably
yeah,
not.
probably not. And this is what Will said.
Yeah.
We'll rest when we are dead, Nick.
Yeah, that
We'll
line
rest
got me.
when we are dead.
115 to 71 to 71 to 359 to 103 east. That'll take us south to the rail line.
Wait a minute. You remember all of that?
Well, I stared at the map long enough. Didn't take much to memorize. Didn't think I'd have to, though.
Well, you want to write that down so you don't forget?
I could be wrong, but I'll put together the pieces when we see the roads.
So I guess maybe you can't sit back and rest then.
Nope.
Well then, hopefully you'll be able to sleep on the train.
Do you really think that'll be possible?
Probably not.
Well, we'll rest when we're dead, Nick. Rest when we're dead.
Yeah, damn straight.
I was like, why? That's a big red flag.
Bye, Will.
This could go two things or three things. The third one will be they're not dead, or it's either Nick or Will saying this to one another, whoever one is dying.
Bro, I when he said that line, I wasn't a fan of it. Like, why, Will? Why, Will? Why?
Yeah.
Why had to be so smart to come up with the words like that?
Or this could be one of those moments with with Ruby, because we had that moment in Scout's Honor with they're talking about. I guess we're gonna find out later.
Did we mark what highways they were on?
Mm-hmm.
I didn't.
No.
Did you make a note of that, or what he was saying? Ace, did you?
I did not. I was out when I was listening to it.
We'll
This
probably
time.
look at it afterwards. I didn't think of doing that.
I thought about it, but didn't, because I was working. So I'm just curious, because in the last video, Casey did state that he did map it all out.
Yeah.
And so it should be able to be found exactly where they were at.
Yeah.
In there, he said 115, didn't he?
I
remember something about
115 or 115. Yeah, I think something like that.
Oh, you're talking about Will?
The highways.
remembering
Yeah,
everything?
what highways?
Yeah, I don't know. I didn't take note of that part.
Yeah, I should have. I didn't even think of that. No, yeah, that just went past my mind.
Yeah.
But man, he memorized that. I was tripping. Like, dude.
Well, he said he's been looking at that map for like all the time.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's into that map.
Under that pressure and still remembers that? That's crazy.
By the way, Casey,
There's
in
nothing
future
that this
episodes,
man's done that hasn't been impressive.
That's true. Very true.
in future episodes, if we can get street names, that would be really great. Like, this happens to be the auto shop on Bluebird Lane. Thank you. Now we know where to look.
just a little like color commentary over it the entire time.
I literally just saw
Guys
Bluebird
that
Lane on
keep
my Google
annoying me
Maps.
about this. They took a left turn on J Street.
Yeah,
You have Siri in the background. Just,
yeah. They hit a pothole on the right side of the car.
I see it. I see the pothole. In Michigan, that'd be impossible.
And then the left side, they saw a rainbow. Rainbow. This whole time it's there.
The only important thing about seeing
like
a
that.
rainbow is, was it a double rainbow? Or
Yeah. So after that, we transitioned to someone knocking on Nekoma and Vera's room. It turns out it was Oliver, or according to Nekoma, Godfather.
That was so good.
Godfather is
That was a
here.
nice reference. That was a good reference.
This actually made me think of Nekoma and Bert sitting down, because they met before, right?
Nekoma and Bert?
Yeah.
Yeah, they've met before.
Kinda, yes.
Just sitting down and referencing all these movies, and because we all know who's the movie guy, it's Bert.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Talking about all these things. Has Nekoma seen Gloria?
No.
I don't think
I
they
don't
saw
think
each
so,
other.
no.
Yeah.
No,
Oh, wait.
because Gloria never went inside the.
Actually, they should
thing,
have.
did she?
No, I think they should have, because remember that scene where they had it all planned out to blow up the arena, and Alex just arrived at the scene and they were about to be cornered, and then you see Gloria from a distance, and Nekoma shouts out, "Hey, is she with you? Is that you? Is that you?"
Oh, that's right.
I think they kind of linked up together at that point, and they met up briefly.
Yeah.
Do you guys remember the scene?
Okay.
No. I the one that hasn't met is Gloria and Bert.
Yes,
They've
they
never seen
haven't
each
met
other
at all.
Nope. Yeah, they're gonna link up for sure, and have little kids. Oliver asked Vera to go
Been
with
waiting
her.
for that moment.
It'll be a funny. Sorry, I don't know what you're going to say. It will be a funny rival or love triangle between Bert, Gloria, and Boar.
Boar.
I want to see how that goes.
Oliver asked Vera to go with her, but Nekoma was curious about what was going on. And it's hilarious when Oliver looked back to Nekoma. Nekoma, you know you can leave, right?
Yeah.
You know you
Anytime.
can leave anytime.
That was funny.
I'm getting there.
It was so funny. It's like you can tell Oliver's like, dude, I'm getting mad right now. Like what? This
He
is
was
none of your
he was
business.
getting annoyed, and
He's
it was
getting annoyed.
hilarious.
He's like, please.
I guarantee
go.
he would have got rid of her if it wasn't for Vera, because he's trying to be on Vera's good side.
Oh yeah.
And so far they're doing great.
Now it turns out it was to fulfill Oliver's promise to Vera. She can now leave, not talk, but just leave a message for Westport.
Yeah.
I'm very curious about this. Just in general, that
Yeah.
like there's such like he said, like she was questioning, why are we in such a rush? Why are we so limited on time?
Mm-hmm.
Why do I only have to leave a message? Like, yeah, that's just interesting.
I mean, I knew that there will be some kind of beef or some people not liking each other in the family, but again, they keep themselves in check due to the rules. But the fact that now Vera's there and he's probably overly fatherly over his daughter.
He kind of explained though why.
Yeah, I didn't think that was a valid explanation.
You
think so?
I did not think so.
Really?
I mean, just the fact that they're just calling somebody.
Yeah, but to know that it's Westport.
Yeah. I mean, I'll give it to him a little bit. It seemed a little bit sketch.
I'm assuming that the act that he did here is probably out of the books or out of the rules or some.
No, I think it's more of
That
a
was my initial thought.
Yeah.
Is that I felt like he was doing something that could very much get him in trouble. But then the after conversation is where it kind of put in like, okay, actually, I might agree with you now. I might understand.
Because the way he explained it, that the family does not like Westport because of store survival.
Right.
So it makes sense why
He
are
said,
you calling
certain
Westport?
family members don't.
Yeah, and also yeah, go ahead.
I didn't like where that conversation led either. I'm still trying so hard to fight for my boy,
Vincent,
and man,
that's right.
these flags are popping up like the 4th of July, and I'm not a fan.
Yeah, when he said that Vincent was gone for a while, it's now just
Yeah.
pointing out maybe Vincent was the one that went to Westport and took out Michael.
I'm giving that some credence, by the way.
Please.
I'm following that a little bit.
So because it's the because I guarantee you the family knows that CJ and Oliver linked up, right? So for them to find out that why is Oliver calling Westport? Is he trying to link up with CJ again? Is there something going on here? It will definitely throw a red flag for the family.
Yeah.
And I can see his point of view because of that. Why it's in a rush? Why is it secretive? And things like that. And I'm assuming too, if it's something that they planning to do, it's whether they attack Westport or do something in Westport, I feel like for them, Oliver would have told us first what's the plan, especially the higher up. But he didn't. He just went rogue and did it himself.
I think it might lighten the blow because he used the code to reach out to the Mullen. He left a message to the Mullen for CJ. Because you remember how he asked asked Vera, can you look up the Mullen whatever code?
Type in the Mullen code, yeah.
Yeah. So I'm assuming, Ruth might receive that
That was
message
really cool.
and might be his cover. As I was reaching out to the group out in
Yeah.
Well, I
Westport.
mean, that would imply that he doesn't have potentially any other
Contacts.
spies over there.
Of his
So,
own
yeah.
resources there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Of his
I
own.
can see that. I can see that.
Right, like a CIA. They're the only ones I have. That's it.
I thought it was funny. His comment. He's like, "Well, that's better than my hunting and poking."
Yeah, like that's what it took me a minute to register. What's he talking about? Then I realized, oh, he's probably talking about.
Oh yeah, he's punching them keys one at a time.
Oliver used his ring, which surprised Vera. She said that's a lot fancier than I thought.
You need your ring for this?
It gives me access to send encoded messages. The ring is also the cipher key.
Those are a lot fancier than I thought.
Yeah, we'll either keep up with the times or end up getting buried in the past. We don't have much time. Would you enter the Mullins code from the book?
Oh, sure.
Yeah, a lot faster than my hunting and pecking.
Oliver said,
Surprised me too.
Yeah, that was really cool.
Like, what the heck? Is this like oh gosh, Captain Planet
Planet.
ring? Like it's got powers?
That's
Like,
awesome.
gosh,
Captain
that was
Planet,
the first thing I
one of the
thought
most
of.
racist TV show ever.
What? What? Why? Hang on, we're gonna pause this for a second. Why?
They did the Asian people wrong, bro.
Why?
What did Asian people have as a ring? Love? What the heck? Everybody has a cool ring, and the Asian people love.
Heart. It was heart. It was heart.
Love is so important for this world.
No, Captain. Oh my God.
Wait,
no.
but was he Asian? I thought he was Indian.
He's Asian.
Oh,
Yeah.
he seemed.
Love is important, dude.
And tell me what's the color of the Jewish kid?
There was a Jewish kid.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Green, bro. For money.
That's funny. That's hilarious right there. Actually,
Actually, I don't know if that's the color of the
there's no Jewish kid on there.
He's have to look it up. It's like,
There's
wait,
not.
hold
There's
up.
the Asian chick, there's the Indian chick, the black kid, and the two blonde or a blonde and a redhead. They did get the hairs of the colors like across the board.
Wasn't there like a Chinese female?
Yeah.
That's the Asian one. I was thinking about the one with the heart. The one that you're talking about is the Indian brown-looking dude.
I don't know. I just
let me see
I just
here.
know I don't watch that thing.
Let me see here.
I
awful.
freaking can't with you, dude.
Yeah, so there's the black kid, Indian, like they made the Asian chick like really yellow. Like it is like glow in the dark yellow in this picture. It is bad. And then there's like the redhead guy who's like the leader, and then the blonde girl kind of thing.
Captain Planet, he's the hero. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh.
Oh,
It's like Power Rangers.
Shows-
Like, like the Power Rangers. Like
I never. Okay, so someone pointed this out to me the other day. I don't know if it was us or not, but like I never even put together that like the Asian girl was the Yellow Ranger, the black guy was the Black Ranger, like, and I'm just like, oh my gosh, I'm like, Power Rangers was racist too.
I think it was it a Key and Peele bit when they said, okay, we're looking for the White Ranger. I can be the one, no, but can he be the White Ranger?
Can you? Yeah, I had never put that together, and then someone said that, and I'm just like, oh my gosh. I always felt like the nerd kid was like blue fit him for some reason, and I never put together the yellow or the black one. I was just like, wow.
So if you're wondering, this is the mayhem in Mike Smith and
yes.
This is where the
This is
this
the
is where it
mayhem.
fits. The
So-
title.
Yeah, exactly.
So maybe we'll review Captain Planet or Power Rangers next. But if you want us to do that, let us know in the comments. Because that might be insane. All right, so back to We're Alive.
No, she said that's a lot fancier than I thought. Oliver said, I gotta keep up with the time or end up getting buried in the past. This part, I feel like Vera, I don't know if Vera like reminded her of that whole conversation with Vincent, but this should remind her of that whole conversation with Vincent on the way to the cafeteria, when she said that, oh, this place needs some, everything is so old, this needs some renovation or something. And then Vincent said, well, I totally agree. But Oliver said this, he said,
In line of what
I
she
gotta
said,
keep
yeah.
up with the time or end up buried in the past. So he knows.
Such a good line.
It is a good
Right?
line. It's definitely a good line. But yeah, that
Such
ring,
a
dude.
good one.
Dude,
Yeah,
do
it's
you think-
legit to be true.
Do you think
Frick, dude.
Angel's ring still works?
Oh, I believe
Yes.
so.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Because I don't think they're they're not like wireless, so they can't like disable his ring.
Yeah.
I think it's more of an analog system where, you know, it's like a key.
Yeah.
And so
in a different universe, the Team B will go to this place, and they like, how are we gonna get in? And then Riley's like, wait, maybe this ring will work.
I know. It's funny. I was thinking the same thing.
Yeah.
by our powers combined.
Oh my god.
I'm just saying because of the rings. You know, they put the rings together and you know.
No, Vera is leaving. While they're talking, Vera left a what is this? Vera is leaving an Olaf Frozen 2 summary of what had happened to her. You know, the beginning of this is her leaving a message to CJ. While she's leaving a message to CJ, she gave her like a you didn't. It's a hilarious movie. But anyway, she gave CJ an Olaf Frozen 2 summary of what had happened to her.
Yeah.
Vera told her mom to tell Lisa's dad Grant about what happened to her.
I did think that the way that she left the message was great. Like the leaving the message and then wait a minute, can I do that? And they have that little conversation. They're like, oh crap, you know, go back to the message and you know, am I allowed to say this? Like, yeah, you can say that. Okay, I'm gonna say this now.
Like, can I do this again? Oliver said no.
It's recording.
So
now
real,
you
though.
tell me.
It was so real.
It was
so
so
good.
well done.
It was
Like
so
just
good.
in the way that the voice like depth changed when you knew that they were pulling away and coming back.
that's
Like
good.
it sounded so real and it was so great. Just that dynamic in that moment was really interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree.
And funny.
And then after she left that message, she said, Vera said, all of a sudden, and Oliver wants to talk to you. In case you don't believe me, Dad.
You can hear her. I think you can hear her dragging him towards the mic.
Yes.
Yeah, you can.
That was
That
hilarious.
was dirty, and I love it
It was-
Yep.
so much.
This is your message. I've said all I need to say. Your turn.
Yeah.
Vera said, done. Bye.
Yeah.
Done. Here you go, Dad.
Which by the way, and I think this is like
uh.
a show or a movie, of course, when Oliver said 45 seconds left. It wasn't 45 seconds. It was way
wasn't.
longer than 45 seconds.
Yeah.
But,
Yeah.
you know.
And then that's when she throw her line, 17 years.
Yeah,
and-
17 years and 45 seconds. Go.
Yeah. Yeah. And you can hear too Oliver's voice completely change. So I forgot his name. I had it and I was like, I'm gonna remember, but I didn't. The actor who voiced Oliver, man, you did a great job on changing your voice to like a Oliver Manley, I'm the boss kind of thing, to leaving a message to CJ, to going back to like that moment when you first met CJ and who you were and things like that.
that
You know
was
what I mean?
awesome.
Like you can tell.
He became like this soft,
Right.
Sincere.
Yeah.
Jeremy.
Yeah.
That was crazy.
It was done well, and I felt it. I'm like, I felt like they were my parents, and they're meeting each other again. And they're not having a divorce anymore. They're getting back together. Yay! I felt this moment. I dragged that whole thing so you can find his name.
I'm looking. I went through the entire list.
I bet you someone watching this YouTube is like Jace looking that name right now, and he's not finding it.
I keep going.
I can't. What am I?
It's not on here.
Now it's your turn.
It's not on here.
17 years, 45 seconds later.
It's not
Now
on
it's your
there. It's not on there. Like I legitimately.
it
So
should be like
I'll have to go
some
to the
special guest or
additional.
something like that.
looking at the wrong one.
It should be like a
Shut up,
special
keep
guest or
vamping.
something.
No, it must be
What
in
is
the
that?
additional.
What is that word? A filibuster? just filibuster this whole thing. Just to drag it out. No, we're done. We're moving on.
What the heck?
He was a little hesitant and awkward. You can tell by the way he's like saying the words and mentioning, you are the, how do you say, you're the best parent? You are the better parent
Yeah.
that Vera needs, or something like that. Of course, Vera interjected. She said that, while he was being hesitant and awkward, Vera said, "What have you been wanting to tell CJ? It's now or never." And that made him like, okay, I'm gonna tell you what I really feel. Here you go. His message was exceptional, and I was planning to write down all the things that he said, but you have to listen to the way he says it, especially the part when he said, "I miss you, CJ."
Hi.
You think with all your expertise, you could handle something like this. Talk to her.
So, Vera is great. Yeah, I can see a lot of you in her. You should be very proud. I just,
What have you always wanted to tell CJ? It's now or never.
What can I say? The last few days have reminded me of what it would have been like to have stayed behind with you and Vera. It was impossible to let go. So, I hope you forgive me. I've done whatever I could to try and still be a part of your lives, even if it had to be from a distance. The choices I've made have never been easy. Many loaded with regret. But I'd never go back and change our time together. Meeting our daughter now, and seeing the kind of person she is. You are every bit of the parent I wish I could be. Out of all the things I've had to go through, and all the kinds of people I've met, nothing would ever prepare me for meeting you. I miss you, CJ.
They gave me the butterflies in my, my stomach. Like this is so sweet. He said, "I miss you, CJ." I actually thought he was about to cry. Like, miss you, CJ. But it's like, he's holding his composure.
Steven Weber. I got that from a Reddit feed. Steven Weber. It was not on their website.
Casey's gonna post. It is there. He just didn't find it.
I'm under. We're Alive Descendants. I looked at the right spot.
Okay.
I even went through the
You gotta
additional.
look in IMDb.
Yeah, I could have. I figured their website would have it.
So yeah, I looked at IMDb and I got a different name.
You did? What the heck?
What name did you get?
Joe. I'm gonna butcher the last name. Souza.
Oh, that sounds about right.
Yeah, Joe Souza. That's right.
You found it. So
He found it for you.
What the heck?
That could be the old Jeremy.
Screw you, Reddit.
That might be the old Reddit.
I even messaged it to Jay. I'm like, Jay, here you go.
Because there's two of them.
I'm sorry, I didn't have my phone
Because
by me.
there's two Oliver.
But it said.
Yeah, Joe Souza is the right name.
So it must be. So it. Well, here. So okay. So disclaimer. It says, "Will Steven Weber be coming back to voice his character of Jeremy Oliver?"
Yeah, that might have.
So that was for the first season. So I was right for season 1. Or maybe not. Maybe not. Even, no, not for lockdown. So.
We're cutting that part.
Last story.
It's okay, we're cutting that part. We are not cutting that part.
I'm like,
we're not cutting that part.
all right. Sorry, Joe. Souza, whatever. You. It's still not on the website, though. Just saying.
Now, Oliver said that the family's not too fond of Westport because of the subtle info they publish about the family in the story survival. We actually don't really know what the information they shared, because what we listen is completely different to what they publish, because what we listen is Michael's version. Yeah, it was Michael's version, and he gave all the detailed information.
Yeah, he gave the exact recalling to Nick.
Yeah,
and then suddenly in episode 1 of Descendants, where where they talked about how a bunch of stuff was cut out from the original story for the public.
By the way, can we just acknowledge
most of it's probably them?
Yeah.
Can we just acknowledge that is probably the most epic way to transition from one story to another. Like the entire time we're going through Story of Survival, we have no idea that he's just reading a book, like a journal kind of thing. And then you get into the next season or Descendants, and they like finish it and fold it, and like, so that's the story, and it's like, that's what we were listening to. Like that was honestly genius way of transitioning it, because it's almost like you're watching a movie and like almost like no, Princess Bride.
That's exactly what I was
Princess
saying.
Bride. Like they start by, or Monty Python's Search for the Holy Grail. Just saying. They open the book and the movie goes into the book, and then at the end of it, it comes out of the book and they close the book, and then you're in the real life kind of thing. And so it's just like really ingenious way of doing that.
That was nice. So.
This episode is full of movie references, referencing so many movies
and shows.
We are. Oh yeah, okay. My bad.
Oh my gosh, dude, what is going on?
I'm old. I just turned 39, bro.
We had to stop. Okay, anyway, I don't know if you guys recall. If you guys remember, we talked about one of the things that we're worried about Descendants is they're gonna remove the narration, because Story Survival has full of narration, right? And what's going on, so the narrator will explain that. But so far it's been great. Like, I mean, we knew that from Gold Rush and Lockdown, because they didn't have narrators.
That's correct.
Either. But this one is great. So far it's just, we know that everything is going really well. You can tell though that there are some scenes where it's like the radio's kind of set up where they had to say what they're seeing, so we know what's going on. You know, like, oh, there's a knife on the table.
Into a very like perspective base.
Yeah. Instead of in TV, because we can see it, the camera will just go to the knife on the table. But in here, since it's a radio, they have to say it. But it was well done that it doesn't sound cheesy. It's like, wait, you didn't have to say that. Why are you saying that?
There was one in particular that sounded weird, but I can't remember what it was. Oh, when he was like, "Where's the map?" The one that Oliver drew of how it's like, what other map would he be talking about? Like, you don't have to get into the very specifics about this specific. Like, how many maps do you have?
What's the map? The blue one with the green tint on the back.
Yeah.
And the leather.
Well, it was probably just becoming like one of those things where like the more he described it, the more they're like. Reality. It's almost like he's hoping he's describing something that's not just been forgotten.
Yeah. Or it was just kind of like the annoyance of like, where's the map? And he's like, you forgot it. Like, the one that Oliver drew for us. Come on, dude.
Yeah.
So.
And then also...
when we slowly get into the, oh, crap.
Right. Another thing, too, is I feel like Casey had to, like, give us the detailed information, because there are people like us, specifically me, who overthink things. It's like, he didn't mention about this map. Maybe he drew a different map and they're going somewhere else.
Yeah.
All right, listen. It's called self-deprecating, okay? You guys don't have to go... All you have to do is just agree. You don't have to, like, go on top of it, okay?
I didn't say anything.
Listen.
Just so you know, I didn't say anything.
Now,
I'm gonna leave that one alone.
Sensitive topic there.
Now, Vincent is, Oliver explained that Vincent is deep into the family. So Oliver did not trust him in a way that he was surprised that he brought Vera to the compound. And because, he explained that the family's not too fond of Westport, and Vincent knew that she's from Westport, so he's surprised that he brought her to the compound. So it's making sense why it's like he's so in deep into the family, and he's hurting and he's upset, mad about what the Westport did. So why bring Vera here? And then this is the part where Jay did not like. They had a little daddy-daughter banter.
Yeah, I thought that was weird.
Yeah. He said, you march up to your bedroom right now, young lady. Vera said, fine, Dad. I'll go get ready for school. It didn't sound like that.
It was
so sorry.
pretty close. It was, that's about how it came across to me. It was just a little too familiar for only being together for a few days.
Yeah.
Considering how mad she was. Also, like, especially after the moment they just shared with her basically punking him.
Yeah.
It's showing that they kind of need that familiarity with each other. Like, they need they both need it, and so now that they finally have it, they're like, oh, this is actually like really nice. So it's giving them a little sense of comfort, especially after all the chaos that Vera's been in. She's probably super willing to get in on his good side because of how much he's doing for her. And she's like, I don't know if I trust this place, but I really do think I trust him. And she did just have a moment where she was able to kind of talk to home.
Yeah, I just felt that it was a little too quick of a transition into that. It seemed a little out of place.
That's definitely fair.
So, I mean, familiarity is one thing. It just seemed a little too, rushed, and just the transition was interesting after the moment that was just had, and then, I think it was a little too far into the familiar for the relationship that they have at this point.
The way I took it though is more of Vera longing for Oliver for quite a while, for a long time. Because remember that conversation that she had with Lisa, and this is when they found out that Vera's the son of Oliver, and the way she was explaining and describing Oliver, like I have a dad, and things like that. You can tell that, man, I want to meet this person and I want to be with this person kind of situation.
No, and I follow that. I just even in a different situation, it might not have been like, maybe if they were at dinner, joking around and having fun, it wouldn't have felt so out of place. Just in this moment, it felt rushed and out of place, and the transition didn't feel like it fit right for me.
I think it's more of a. I get what you're saying. I'm not going against it.
They're just already stuck in that moment of vulnerability.
Yeah, because remember Vera said, I'm actually glad this happened. I'm glad that you did that. Because after Oliver said, I miss you, CJ, Oliver said, well, I guess we're letting it all out now. And then, Vera said, well, I'm actually glad you did that. So it's like the spur of the moment. But it's just a little cheesy, that part when it's like...
Yeah. It also just seemed kind of like and I know that was the intent of like, someone who's 10 years old as opposed to someone who's 18.
Right.
I guarantee you no 18-year-old is going to respond to their dad that way.
Hey,
no matter how good the
my
relationship.
kids don't respond like that, okay? Don't. Adeline, Ariel, Arabella, and Isla.
There's like
if you guys
8.
are listening to this podcast, first of all, thank you for listening to this podcast when you're old enough.
You're making daddy proud.
Okay?
If they're 18, I can almost guarantee you they're not going to be doing that.
Prove this guy wrong. If he's still alive, I'm just kidding.
Whoa! Wow! Ouch!
Just so we're clear.
No, at least get some marshmallows for a roast like that. Holy crap.
Police, if I show up disposed, refer to this video. You have your first suspect right there.
They will act like that too.
Third and fourth.
Wait, hold on.
He's good.
Wait.
Now Vera went to see Nekoma, and Nekoma warned her again about the family. Nekoma ended the whole conversation by saying, "Some things are better off finding out myself," and that triggered Vera. Vera said, "I'm gonna get him to talk whether he wants it or not." And then I wrote in my notes, Nekoma. After that, Nekoma became an owl. Who? Who?
We know who.
Yeah. So my thoughts in this is, I feel like she should let Nekoma help.
She can't though. She can't leave the room.
No, she can leave the room. She just can't leave the compound.
I thought she couldn't leave the room unless she was leaving. Period.
No.
Because she said she's locked in the room, and he's like, "You can leave anytime." And his statement was like, "You can leave, like go out on your way."
Yeah, no, I mean, I thought he was referring to like you can leave this place and never come back.
Yeah, that's what he was saying.
Yeah.
So I think she's locked in the room because that's what she said.
Yeah, she's not available to roam free.
Yeah, she's not able to go anywhere because that's why Vera has to bring up food or send food up to her.
Yeah.
She's stuck in the room.
Yeah, but still, I feel like at least give her the information about Vincent, because maybe Nekoma knew something that Vera didn't know, and then,
I agree with that.
You know what I mean?
Well, like I think that should have been something that was pitched to Nekoma, because
Right.
Nekoma's gonna have a very different way of thinking than Vera. Which is probably part of why Vera didn't do it, because Vera's like, nah, I'm gonna do this my way. I don't care your way. That's just a very Vera thing to do.
Does it feel out of character too for Vera not to do that?
No.
No.
You think that's a Vera thing not to ask Nekoma for help?
Yeah, definitely. I think that's like, she's spent her whole life trying to do everything on her own. I mean, that's how she got through all of her training and stuff like that, completely avoiding getting outside help, proving that she could do it herself.
Right.
That's who CJ is, and it's been very defined that
makes sense.
Vera is basically the same way.
Yeah.
With just less resources. She's still trying to be that same person that CJ is, to prove that she's not hidden under CJ's shadow.
Right. No, that makes sense. I just thought it would have changed becoming a soldier, like all of the take every resources that you can get from anywhere, and then her nature being Vera and CJ, it makes sense why she wouldn't ask for anyone's help. Yeah.
Yeah.
For sure.
Although this scene with Nekoma, because it still bothers me. Granted that we now know her backstory, but it just bothers me how she's out of the blue, still wanted involved with Vera, not knowing who Vera is to her. I feel like she's gonna pull a Vincent move again, being the good guy, but actually the bad guy. Because she's saying you shouldn't be among this group. You should stay away. You should split, and then later down reveal, "I told you so. You should have left," kind of thing.
Are you talking about Nekoma or the family?
Nekoma.
I don't. No, I can see where that would go.
I see exactly what you're talking about with that. But
but I don't think so.
Don't see it coming. Yeah.
At least for me, that will be my stand. And if I'm wrong, then I'm wrong. But
no, I'm on your side with that, Buggy. Like, you can see the angle, but you don't see that outcome.
Yeah. Because she even had that one moment. Remember when she was by herself? She realizing, what am I even doing here? Why am I here? You know what I mean?
Yeah, I recall to that. I was like, what is she doing?
Yeah. So for her to be like, I don't even know. I feel like I have no reason to be here.
I mean, what I'm thinking that in her, she's probably just getting outside of her nature, doing something like what Vincent did. What did he do that was out of the character of him, like being nice to Nick? Or instead of killing him, he just knocked him out, left him there, and left kind of thing.
Still a funny scene.
Yeah.
Over and over and over again.
Which one, the first one or the second one?
All of it. I feel bad. I was actually thinking about this when I was looking at the cast list. Jatan Gilbert, we give you a lot of crap. We give your character a lot of crap. You're doing an amazing job of him.
I say
yes.
Yeah,
it's the character.
We absolutely
who
love hearing him and the way he portrays everything.
Yes, you're doing an amazing job.
Yeah.
It's just sometimes Nick is kind of annoying.
That's when you know. That's when you know that you're a great actor. If people, especially if you're playing a villain, if everybody hates you.
If people hate
Nick's
you,
not a villain.
No. I'm talking about playing that character. Because one of the hated villain that I despise is the heck is her name? That one teacher in Harry Potter that replaced Dumbledore, pink dress.
Oh yeah.
Freaking hate that lady. Because she did a great job. She just did a great job portraying that character.
Yeah, she was horrendous.
Freaking hate her. She's the worst. But for Nick to play that character is just amazing because you know how he's annoying, a privileged
Umbridge.
kid. Umbridge, yes.
I thought the same way with the chick.
Dude, I was so stuck on Dolores. I was like, what the frick is her last name?
No, I think it is Dolores Umbridge. Yeah.
Yeah, it is. I was stuck on her first name. I couldn't remember her last name for the life of me. So the moment he said that, I got mad.
I thought the way that you just described it is the same way how I thought about the chick that from Scout's Honor that we all just got annoyed until she died. the one that you hated the most. I was happy she died.
What was it? Oh gosh.
The bison protected.
Yeah. Let me look it up real quick.
Here you
Because
go.
it wasn't Ruby. I'm on their website right now, so it works.
So I felt bad because I wanted
Carmen. Carmen. Again, sorry, Riley. Nothing against you. Just
You just hate Carmen.
Yeah, because she mentioned it in that one live interview when everyone came on. She was wondering, why did everyone hate Carmen kind of thing? And I felt bad. I was like, I just want to say, you just did the role really well that everyone hates Carmen.
You should have said,
yeah.
because Carmen sucks, bro. Why can't she just die by herself? Why she had to drag the bison with her?
Bison.
That's crazy.
Just die by yourself, okay? Just let it be. Tell the bison to go away.
Yeah.
How much love for legitimately an NPC, like kind of thing, like.
Yeah.
Jacques.
I wouldn't. Jacques, you're still my MVP, man.
Yeah.
Just kick him out, Be a Carmen and be like, leave me alone, bison. Let me die by myself.
Unfortunately, I don't see Jacques in the cast and crew.
Who voiced the bison, Casey?
Who voiced the bison?
We want to know.
Which bison was it?
Is this one of those I am?
I don't know if I want to
Groot
know this. If his name is not Jacques, I might be a little disappointed.
Oh, that'd be so great.
Oh, that's crazy.
Yeah.
But back to what I was saying. Yeah, Nekoma. I guess you guys are right. I just felt that there might be a twist at the end. I don't know. Yeah, maybe Nekoma's just being overly protected over Vera for no reason.
It's one of those stories or thoughts where there's no valid or solid clues for us to be like, oh, this is the case. Because with Vincent, when Vincent was playing, he's already been sus since day one.
Right.
You know what I mean? He's already sus, like, what's going on with this guy? Why is he like this? And he hates our kids. You know what I mean? He hated our kids when they were there. He was bullied to Alvin. So it's like something's weird about this kid. And then when you go to Nekoma definitely changed. Granted, we don't know what that changes. Like, why all of a sudden you're nice to these kids that you abducted and forced to slavery or forced to fight in the arena, and now follow... help Nick and follow Vera. We still don't know why. I still don't understand why. But still, we don't have any clues that she might be a bad person.
Fair. That's fair.
If she turned out to be a bad person, though, that's a huge plot twist. Like, for sure.
We'll find out soon enough.
Yeah. Any final thoughts? Anything that you guys want to mention? What are you making that face?
I didn't realize Hope was in lockdown.
Yeah, in the beginning.
Yeah.
Just like in the opening, not in the whole...
oh, okay.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, because the beginning is they were interviewing Simeon.
I was gonna make a joke. In all of this cast and stuff, they have the pictures of all the cast, except for Hope. And
sorry, I didn't mean to peek.
It doesn't matter.
We can't see what she looks like.
It doesn't matter. Exactly. This is why you don't name a legless dog. Same reason why you don't name a legless dog. Because why? He wouldn't come.
That's crazy. That's freaking wild. Wow. I literally got nothing right now.
Yeah.
Wow.
Can you imagine? This is all I can imagine, right? This is all I can imagine. Imagine someone is getting bored with listening to us, which highly unlikely, and then skip it and then end it in that moment of me saying, why? Because he wouldn't come. Wait, what did he say? Let me go back. Wait. Yeah, that meme. Wait. Yeah. Any final thoughts? This episode. I think the next episode, if we stay with Nick and Will, they're gonna head to the train. They're gonna hop the train.
Yes, that is. It's kind of where the story's going.
Yeah. Well, it could be like the car broke down somewhere.
I think they'll get to the train.
Yeah.
Because they're only a few. I think he said like, we'll assume 3.5 miles an hour, 8 hours, 20 miles away, so
Yeah.
it should only take them 15, 20 minutes
quick with the
to
car.
get there. So
Granted, if the passage is not blocked and things like that.
yeah,
You know what I mean?
yeah.
I think with knowing how strong-headed, straightforward Vera is, she's going to botch her initiation.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
You
well,
don't think she's gonna pass?
she's gonna get on the bad side of whoever she's trying to get information from.
Oh, that's Vincent.
Is it only gonna be Vincent?
I think she's because she didn't say them. She says I'm going to make him speak.
Yeah.
That's
I
true.
think it's Vincent.
That's-
I think
Oh,
she's
it's
going to
definitely
drill into Vincent
Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah.
because she's been trying to get information from him. I think for a while.
Which is interesting because Vincent is the teacher of deception.
Yeah.
So for her to interrogate him and ask him all these questions, it'll be a big challenge for her. You know?
Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
it's either going to be Vincent or Oliver. It's one of the two. Only because Oliver's been very cryptic on a lot of things also.
Yeah.
And so after the moment they just had, she could be like, you know what? It's time that he does answer some questions.
fair.
And so
I think it's all not Oliver.
Vincent,
I think it's
I'm
Vincent.
leaning towards that, but I
Yeah.
wouldn't be surprised if it was
No,
Oliver.
what if it's fingers?
No, him.
He
So all
said
this
him.
time.
He
Surprise!
said him.
So like,
Well, remember our first conversation at the beginning of this podcast?
Oh my gosh.
about
The nickname?
No.
Tell me off the air.
You're so dumb, dude.
Oh, dude, he's so old.
Yeah.
Sorry. Okay.
Just so we're clear. Yesterday was my birthday. Not one of you said anything.
wait, it was your birthday yesterday,
Happy birthday.
bro? I did not
You
know.
guys have a hard time. It's totally fine.
Was it?
He said
It
happy
was.
birthday.
I didn't know about your
It's
birthday.
fine. It's
It's okay.
fine.
Bro,
I was giving
happy
you guys a hard
birthday.
time.
So when you
'Cause I
said
am.
turn 39, I was like,
Yeah.
maybe it wasn't too long ago. Did
Yeah.
we miss
No, it
his
was
birthday?
literally yesterday.
Oh
but that's
my
totally fine.
goodness.
I was only saying that because I am.
It's okay.
old.
Well, a month ago, my
older.
birthday
Yeah.
was on a Tuesday, and we
I'm gonna get in
recorded,
trouble for that.
and nobody said anything. And it's okay. We
Yeah,
recorded on
none of
my
Fair
exact
enough.
birthday.
None of us
Fair
did.
enough.
So we said it the next week, though.
I know,
We
it's
said it the
okay.
next week.
It's okay.
But I'm not old. For somebody listening, I'm not old at all. I'm very young.
Unless it's your daughters from the future that listens.
And then at that point, 10 years from now, no, I can't even say that. I'm still young at that point in 10 years.
It's true. You are.
I can't say that.
Yeah. Any final thoughts, Ace?
No, I don't think so. I'm really looking forward to next week's. I'm really looking forward to seeing. I've been looking forward to every week when it comes to what's unfolding in the family.
Yeah.
Because I mean, I'll say it endless amount of times. The lore in the family has been the thing I've been the most attached to since
Day
Story
one.
Survival. Like,
Yeah.
I love the lore to it. I love the implications that come out of it. I love all that stuff. It's so fascinating to me because it just has so much depth that I can go into, especially with stuff like what Casey was talking about in our comments. Like, there's so much lore that's there just for the sake of being lore
Yeah.
back in the back. Like, that's all it is. It's just lore that's in the back of space for the sake of lore being in the back of space.
Yeah, so that
Like,
he can keep everything
shoot.
straight.
yeah.
Yeah.
And that makes it so much more appealing to me because I'm just like, yes.
I really hope he
Chaos.
releases a lot of that at the end.
That'd be really
Yeah.
cool.
Yeah. He makes.
It would be very unexpected, but it would be very
Yeah.
cool.
All right. Before we end this, of course, we're gonna go to our YouTube and read a ton of comments.
Just to reiterate, Mike's Myth and Mayhem.
Yeah, Mike
Yes.
Smith and Mayhem. Yep. 80% of them are from Casey, of course, and we're not mad about that.
Not at all.
Love it.
Yeah,
Love
Casey
it.
said.
I want to
think.
say
Go ahead.
I want to say one thing about one of the comments. I know you would probably bring it
Yeah.
up in a minute anyways, but it was cool seeing somebody comment saying that they just started listening.
That's him.
Yep, it's our boy. He's in the room.
Yeah.
Yeah. I know. That's him.
Say, that was just cool to see.
It's so
Like,
cool. I love it. Yeah, Himura plays. The guy
Yup,
that
yup,
you don't
yup.
see. You don't see his face, but he's around. He's here.
Yeah.
He's around.
He's in his
hiding.
heart. Casey said. I
Hearing
think-
us talk about it every week, he's probably like,
Yeah.
okay, I need to understand.
Yes, he's the guy that we always say goodbye. See ya. Thank you.
Not anymore.
Not anymore. Yeah.
Yeah, the comments.
Yeah, Casey said, I dig the new name. Yes, thank you.
Thank you.
It's been a work in progress for a long time.
Back and forth. Back and
A long time. Yep.
You should see our text message thread about that.
Oh my god.
We've gone through at least 40 or 50 names.
Do not want to see our text messages because you know what happens with 4 guys in a group chat. You know that meme? You don't know that meme. It's okay. No. Casey said,
what's a meme? I'm kidding.
Casey said, you can credit my dad finding the right kind of car was very important. That's
so I'm curious on that now. I was actually just looking at that one. Up to this point, the kind of car has not mattered.
Yeah.
So I'm curious if
kind of, because remember the Prius. That's the reason why they send Soul in the Prius, because the Prius is quiet.
Yes, but at this point, there hasn't been any. From what we've heard in the story, there hasn't been any need for it to be that specific car, other than it being an older car.
Yeah.
There hasn't really been a need.
Yeah.
And so I'm curious how if the car is going to play that specific car is going to play into something in the next episode.
That'd be really cool, actually.
Maybe it's like the.
I think he was giving a hint on something in that one, because it was very like if he just said it was important or it mattered, that'd be one thing. But he put emphasis on very important, and so right now it has not been very important that it was that
Gotcha.
car.
I see what you're saying now.
Yeah.
I see what you're saying. Yeah. Maybe it's like the car in Greece that it will fly in.
Oh my gosh.
See, I told you this episode
Man
is
gives
full of
me an
movies.
aneurysm every time we
No,
speak.
but seriously though, like that movie, like everything is realistic until the end. Like all of a sudden,
everything was realistic.
Well,
when was the last time you
almost
watched that
realistic.
movie? Because that movie was
Everything's
ridiculous.
Yeah,
They were not teenagers
like,
in that movie.
No, I see what you're saying, but natural. Like everything is natural until the
just-
car starts flying.
Yeah, we can pick apart that movie other times because there's a lot of really jacked up stuff in that movie.
It's true. Casey said, if you're a soldier on a deployment, you have spares, but Nick never really went out on multi-day excursions. They did. They hadn't really deployed beyond the wall.
That was
Small
a good
detail.
point.
That was a good.
That
point.
was a good point.
Yeah.
I appreciated that.
That's why he didn't know that there were some spare.
He didn't think
clothes.
about that.
I like that. Defensive driving, like a police driving course. That
makes a lot of sense also.
Yep, the training that Vera did. Yeah. Because I was like, what the heck is that?
And we've all
driving for?
seen what one of those looks like.
Yeah. And in my head, it's like, is she doing a driving training because she's Asian? Is that?
Oh my god.
Yup. No, because you guys have all been out on the west side, right, by the MSP post.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. There's a driving.
I used to live there.
Yeah.
Right on the west side, southwest side of Lansing. There's the MSP post, and they actually have that's where their training academy is.
Yeah.
And so from the highway, you can actually see, and you can a lot of times see them driving their cars through like the oil slick and the water and all that stuff. And so they have the training
actually
course right
fascinating to
there.
watch.
It really is. Yeah. Unfortunately, you're on the highway going 7 miles an hour, and so you can only take a quick glance at it. But still, it's really cool.
And scary at night because you're driving and all of a sudden you see lights and like, am I getting pulled over?
Random lights.
That's funny.
Casey said that he did trace the path. We talked about that. And then the when he said, "Yup, you got it," that was the part when I explained about the elevator, because a lot of people are surprisingly a lot of people were confused about that. I saw on Facebook post about the sound in the boar when she was in the barn, and what's that elevator sound that people are saying. And then we explained it in that episode.
Question:
They need better headphones.
Yeah.
What was the Gilmore Girls Easter egg?
I don't know.
I tried to listen back to that, but my YouTube wouldn't load at the point because I was on my phone. I'm gonna have to after this. Actually, you keep talking. I'm gonna listen to that real quick.
He said, "Let me pull up my jam."
Let me pull up my history of Gilmore Girls.
I don't know that much. I've watched a few episodes.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, I wouldn't admit that live.
My girlfriend likes it, so.
There's also a bit of a verbal alley-oop too, where the boar says, "How are they doing this?" To then Alex saying, "This is how we're going to do it," but still kind of a risk if it wasn't clear. But yeah, that was good. When she said, "How are they doing this?" I saw a post on Facebook where they said, "What's going on with Gloria and Boar?" So they're kind of questioning the relationship between Gloria and Boar, only because in that part where they were standing and they're getting hit by the sniper, they said that Gloria has a clear shot on Boar, but they didn't shoot her. And in my head, I'm assuming that Boar is inside the car. I don't think she was outside, unlike the other soldiers. Right?
I think she was out.
You think she's out?
Think so. From the sound of things, it seemed like it.
Oh, from the scene of the radio scene.
Yeah, with Alex, because that's when he was when they start getting shot by the slaves.
I can.
Because what they were saying is, why didn't they shoot Boar?
Huh.
So they're kind of questioning if there's a relationship between Gloria and Boar here, kind of thing. Which it's highly unlikely. I don't think that's the case.
I found out what it was.
What is it?
It was the point of the names. Mm-hmm. So there is a Luke Danes and Dean Forrester.
Oh, that's right.
It was the name. The last names were the Gilmore Girls references. So, yeah. I didn't know that until I looked at the cast. Yeah.
Casey said, I mean, you did find it with the lore of the boar in the family tree. Huh. Interesting. Okay. Casey said, where is the map?
Yeah.
What map?
Well, Casey, we'd appreciate that if you'd like to get it to us anytime. If he gets it to us next week, it'll be up here now. If not, we still didn't get it. Sorry, guys.
Casey said that it's confirmed. They make love. And they have kids. Yeah, they do it. They've done the deed. Oh, that's a Blade Master, Alistair Chisholm. Casey commenting about the
throwing knives.
Yep. The Blade Master, Alistair Chisholm. That's pretty cool.
Yes.
Yeah. So there's a lot of lore, but a ton of it isn't relevant to the story, so it's not super necessary in this. But all the states do have a backstory. Will they matter for Descendants? Not really, but I did all that to make sure I know for the bigger picture stuff. Frontier does cover some things. That's good. I did start listening to Frontier. I think I'm in the second episode.
Yeah, I think that's where I'm at too.
Yep.
It's a little interesting.
It is.
Slightly different than the way we play.
Yeah. I feel like you gotta be careful with that kind of stuff, especially if it's canon, because you don't want to ruin Casey's
Frontier's
stuff.
canon?
Well, according to Casey,
yes, it is now.
Yeah.
He helped him with it.
Yeah.
Oh wow.
You know what I mean?
Now
I would love to do one of those stories so much. It just seems like so much fun.
Yeah. Because just imagine Casey, your DM.
Oh my god!
You're just making Casey. Casey, can you just RP the whole thing? I don't even care. I'm
We just sit here.
listen to you.
No, I want to fight some zombies. Just saying.
No, that's when they'll only show up, but the rest is like Casey RPing
Casey doing
everything. Yeah.
That's where you can fill in all the lore, or you can give us some of the lore. We can create another D&D campaign, and we'll do it.
That'd be awesome.
Someone said that Peasant, Dehaventon said, did anyone catch the detail of the sound when Nick and Will stumble on the dead bodies? You can hear flies in the background. Now that is detailed. It's true. It kind of grossed me out. So you know that is definitely detailed. Casey said the timelines of the two stories do not coincide exactly as they are portrayed in the story. They are dramatically staggered a bit. There's a fairly set timeline for each. He's talking about the training of Vera.
Yeah.
This is training of Vera. Yep. Dark Elite said, as time goes by, I'm trusting Oliver and Vincent less and less. I mean, in the last season, the Boar and the Republic leader were able to connect via phone. However, Oliver claims that the family... Oh, this is the... Yeah, we kind of talked about this. Questioning all of that. With all the resources and who is still in communication with Ruth in Westport is having a hard time getting Vera a call back home to her mom. Plus, he clearly wanted Nick separated from Vera, which is why he conveniently let Michael's death slip and sent them on the fool's mission to the train. I like this. The one class we know Oliver taught was the School of Lying, and Vincent became so proficient that he became a teacher. This makes me believe Vincent was lying about overhearing Vera talking about Michael's attack in her sleep, which leads me to think it was a family-approved vendetta. Maybe not to avenge Angel, but Latch or something. There's some legs on that. There's some.
That's interesting.
Yeah, there's definitely some legs on that.
Thank you, Dark Elite.
That was a worry of ours in like one of the earlier episodes too.
Yeah.
We talked about that where that might have been a vendetta for one of the other 3 that were killed, and they had wrong information.
Yeah.
And so they were under the impression that Michael's the one that killed them instead of it being
Pegs.
Yeah. They're framing it.
But also, like, in the story of survival, like, their actual book that they released, or guide that they released, it very well could have said that Michael did it in order to protect Pegs.
Oh, yeah.
So I could very well see that, and that be why he died in the end.
Yeah. And that could be why Vincent would kill Michael.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
That's the only way that I could possibly justify for myself that somebody from the family killed him, with it being someone that's actually like intertwined with the family and not something like what we had said with like the Dawsons or something like that, or just someone trying to usurp him. For it to be family sanctioned vengeance, then it would be like that would have to be what it is, because Michael never did anything wrong.
Yeah, no.
He's never done a single slight against the family. He's never hurt a family member. The closest he's come to personally hurting a family member, I think, is when he told... Well, no. I really don't remember a time where he hurt a single family member, including Angel. Like, they threatened to fight, but they never did.
Yeah.
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 Unless it was just some member that we just didn't know about. Because he never laid a hand on Latch or Scratch.
No.
All the fighting with Latch, the only fight that really happened was him getting shot.
Yeah.
Scratch was in a couple hand-to-hand brawls, but it was with like CJ, a little bit of action from Bert, Pegs, and maybe Saul. Like, and then he never, outside of talking over a radio, he never even had an interaction with Derai.
Yeah, no. Besides Infected and the Maulers, he didn't really like that we know of.
Yeah,
killed someone, you know.
Yeah, he killed some Maulers that were invading, but as far as we know, those were the only 3 family members.
Right. Yeah.
Wow.
So, Omari Miles said that this episode was great. The lockpick training scene was very cool to listen to. The Foley most have been complicated to do for that one. And then Casey commented and said, "We actually have a lockpick kit. Went legit." So it was a really legitimate lockpick. And then the last comment, and I purposely ended with this one. The last one is from Dark Elite. He said this. It's so cool. That's interesting when Jay said... Did you read this comment?
Yeah.
Yeah, when Jay said, a hand holding a dagger with the dagger's point piercing the boar's head. It seemed like the crest description was kind of a foreshadowing of the boar's end. AJ discovered that the only reason Cole came to Prim was because he was following the knife the boar took from Bert. Prim represents the boar. The Cole's attack was the nail in the coffin for the city. But now the boar is forced to fight to the death with the very knife that destroyed her city. That's very poetic, if that was what Casey was going for. That was
well
good.
Put together.
Yeah, that's actually really cool.
So I like good.
I really like that.
Very nice. Very
and
nice.
I said, "Dang it, bro, you did it again." That's what I said.
Nice.
Yeah, that was pretty cool. Wow, what a nice episode. That's probably one of the longest episodes we've shot for a very
for such a short episode.
Short episode.
Yeah.
We only went like 3 times longer than, or 4 times longer than the episode itself.
Yeah, no kidding.
Exactly.
No kidding.
All right. Hey, well, we're gonna end this, but we decided we're gonna have our own sign-off phrase as we end this episode. Some of us, Wakka, probably hasn't come up with a phrase yet, but we're gonna do a sign-off catchphrase. Yeah.
I was gonna say, did I even come up with one?
Oh, I don't know if you come up with one. It's okay.
I think I might have just came up with one. So.
It's okay. You can come up with one. That's right. I'm gonna start. Well, thank you so much for listening to this podcast. Remember, go outside and touch grass. It's your turn. Go ahead.
I was gonna go with stay young and stay alive.
Stay young. That was very relatable to this episode. That was good.
As you can tell, you should always be ready or not.
Nice.
You should always be ready, whether you like it or
You
not.
should be ready or not.
Whether you like it or not. I know. I messed it up. I messed it up.
That's so good.
Be ready whether you like it or not.
Take two, Wakka. Take two.
Go ahead, Ace.
Let's try it again.
Yeah, do it again.
Be ready whether you like it or not.
There we go. All right. Ace.
It's like, one I got was, remember, dead things don't talk. Lucky for you, we do.
All right. I like it.
I thought you were going to say that. Hit him again. I like that.
I thought you guys would like that, too.
That was good.
You guys have a great night.
All right, we'll see you guys.
Day.
We'll see you guys next week. Bye.
Bye, son.